Let's now take a look at the deep structure option in the randomization test. Now, when we select this option, it's important to understand that we're now going to randomly generate data rather than just randomly shuffle data. So with the previous three options, we randomly shuffled data either within the rows, within the columns, or across both rows and columns. Here with deep structures, we're going to randomly generate data. Now, to explain that a little bit better or further, let me cancel out here for a moment. Let's go back to the data set and select the Define Orderings window. And we can see that I have the positive ratings, or that ordering, set up as quartiles, Q1 to Q4. Same thing for the neutral, Q1 to Q4. And then same thing for the negative, Q1 to Q4. So these are the deep structures for these three orderings. So I'll cancel out here, and I'm going to turn on the labels. So when we randomize by deep structures, we're going to randomly generate data in a format that is consistent with those deep structures. So for the first person here, we can see that the ratings are Q3, Q3, and Q3 in that third quartile. When we randomize by deep structures, these values can be anything. They can be Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4. The same thing goes for all of the other ratings in the data set. Now, the randomization procedure creates the data in such a way that the four quartiles will have approximate equal proportions with a large number of randomized trials. But again, the main point here is that we're creating data rather than just randomly shuffling the data that we have. So let's now go back to the analysis, and select Analyses, Ordinal Analysis, Concatenated Orderings. And we need to put that, select the deep structures. And now, since we are analyzing or randomizing by the deep structures, we should be analyzing the deep structures themselves as well, rather than the raw data. And now we can select OK. It iterates through. And as quite a bit of a shocker here, we see that the chance value is 1.0, but also notice now we're dealing with a different type of analysis. Instead of analyzing those raw data, we're analyzing the deep structures. And it turns out of the 45 individuals, none of them matched the expected ordinal pattern in terms of the quartiles. So that tells us that the differences between the positive, neutral, and negative images were really quite small. When I broke the data into quartiles, I didn't see large differences between those three ratings. And so none of the individuals, 0 out of 45, matched the expected ordinal pattern when I'm looking at the quartiles. And so then, by necessity, we're going to have a chance value of 1.0. We can get 0% or more, no matter how we randomly shuffle the data. And the largest value turned out to be 17.78. But in any case, this shows you that when you're randomizing by the deep structures, you're generating new data, and then you also need to analyze the deep structures when you run the ordinal analysis.